In this video, we're going to be subtracting mixed numbers. The first step we should do is take a look at the denominators, and we notice that the denominators are not the same. So we have to figure out the least common multiple, meaning a number that we multiply top and bottom by for each one of these fractions that will give us the same denominator. Now it's usually easiest whenever we take a look at these two denominators, we multiply it by the other fraction. So since we had 4 here, we would multiply 4 by the other fraction. Since we had 5 here, we would multiply this by the other fraction. It tends to work out really easy when we're looking at smaller numbers or prime numbers so that we can figure out the smallest denominator really quickly. Now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this. So we'll keep that 5. That 5 isn't going to change, but the fraction will. We're going to multiply top and bottom by 5, so we're going to have 15 over 20. And then we're going to subtract. We'll have 2 and 12 over 20. Now we can line it up this way, but I always find that it's easiest to line up the fraction vertically so we can look at the individual parts. Now we'll take a look at the whole numbers first. So we have 5 minus 2, which is going to be 3. Now that we have 15 minus 12, and we have 20 as the same denominator, now we just need to subtract the two top numbers, the numerators. And so what we're going to have is 15 minus 12 would be equal to 3. We keep that denominator the same. So our answer will be 3 and 3 over 20. Now moving on to the next example over here. Again, we're going to need to figure out the least common denominator. Now again, these are both prime numbers. We find that it's easiest just to multiply by the opposite denominator. So since we have 3, we'll multiply by 5 right here, top and bottom. And for this one, since we have 5, we'll multiply by the other denominator, which will be 3. Now we can multiply this all out. Now that 3 in front, that whole number, that stays the same. The only thing again that we change is going to be the fraction. So we multiply those two values. So we're going to have 10 over 15 minus 1. We keep that 1 the same. Then we have 4 times 3, which is going to be 12 over 15. Now you're going to notice that 12 is much bigger than the 10 over here. So what we have to do is we can't subtract this because that 10 is smaller than 12. So we have to borrow one value from this 3. So we'll have a 2 here, plus that 1, plus that fraction of 10 over 15. Now we can change this 1 to a fraction. So if you know 15 over 15 would be the same as 1, plus we would have that 10 over 15. And because we have the same denominator, we could just add the top. So we'll have 2 and 25 over 15. And we can subtract that by 1 and 12 over 15. Now instead of doing it vertically, we're going to do it across this time. We take a look at the whole numbers first. So we have 2 minus 1, which would be equal to 1. Now we'll take a look at the fractions. Now again, we have the same denominator for both fractions, so we just need to subtract the two top values, which is 25 minus 12, which will give us 13, right? 25 minus 12 will give us 13, over that same denominator, which is 15. So our answer is 1 and 13 over 15.